Wow. Xbox has just shocked everybody with the announcements today. This a day after Sony shocked a lot of people with the announcement of closing down Blue Point Studios. Now we have Xbox replacing or cleaning house. The CEO and president are both gone. Xbox Phil Spencer retiring and Sarah Bond departs as Microsoft AI exec takes over. Asha Sharma is currently the president of Microsoft CoreAI product, is now taking over as CEO, and they announce Booty as the person taking over Sarah Bonds' role as president. So here we go. Spencer's retirement is effective on Monday, February 23rd. Meanwhile, Xbox president Sarah Bond, long thought by many, both inside and outside of Microsoft, to be Spencer's heir apparent, has resigned. The new CEO will be Asha Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft CoreAI products. And Xbox Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to chief content officer. So the title is different. It's not Xbox president. It's now called chief content officer, will work closely with Sharma. I want to thank Phil for his extraordinary leadership and partnership. CEO Satya Nadella said in an email sent to Microsoft staff, over 38 years at Microsoft, including 12 years leading gaming. Phil helped transform what we do and how we do it. Full emails from Nadella, Spencer, Sharma, and Booty are below, which we have here in a different type of post. I'm just going to read some synopsis of this stuff. Not really necessarily going to read the whole entire things, but basically, Satya says, thank you basically to Phil Spencer. And as we celebrate Xbox's 25th year, the opportunity innovation agenda in front of us is expansive to reach over 500 million monthly active users. Are a top publisher across all platforms and continue to innovate across gaming hardware. I am long on gaming and its role center of our consumer ambition. As we look ahead, I'm excited to share that Asha Sharma will become executive vice president and CEO. Okay, so here we go. So she's taking both roles essentially. She's taking Phil's and Sarah Bond's and rolled into one person, her, Asha Sharma. Over the last 2 years, previously chief operating officer at Instacart and vice president at Meta, Asha has helped build and scale services that reach billions of people and support thriving consumer and developer ecosystems. She brings deep experience building and growing platforms. Matt Booty will become executive vice president, so he's going to be vice president. So a step below what Sarah Bond was, but essentially taking on, I'm assuming, her role and chief content officer, reporting to Asha. So interesting title changes, right? You have Phil Spencer, CEO of the gaming division, and you had Sarah Bond as president of Xbox, but now executive president. I think he meant executive president because it says here twice, executive vice president and CEO. She'll become executive vice president. But then it says Matt Booty will become executive vice president. So I think she's becoming president and CEO. And then he's executive vice president. I'm not sure. There's some weird wording here that kind of have it as twice. Let me see if this other email says the same thing. Let me see. Spencer, an email, blah, blah, blah. Sharma's former VP of product gaming now. Booty said, looking forward. I'm excited to partner with Asha as our next CEO. Where's Satya, head of Xbox? Man, I don't even say. All right, here. Matt Booty become executive vice president. Okay, here's what we saw from here. So Asha will become executive vice president and CEO. Matt Booty will become executive vice president and CCO. They're both becoming executive vice presidents. Again, strange titles. I'm not so sure what I'm reading right there. Because Sarah Bond was ex-president Sarah Bond, not vice president. And Phil Spencer was basically CEO of the gaming division. So, I have no idea what kind of title changes these are. But, you know, the names anyways. And today, new chapter Microsoft Gaming as Asha steps into the role of CEO. Yeah, interesting wording. Well, let's just put it that way. Interesting wording. How they're both executive vice presidents, though. I think obviously it's a mistake. I think it's supposed to be she. Asha is president and CEO, and vice president is going to be Matt Booty. But maybe he's anointing himself back to being president, and maybe these two are just rolling up as executive vice presidents, and they're going to have two of them, one a CEO and one chief content officer. Regardless, some weird wording compared to what was the previous roles, which was CEO of the gaming division, Microsoft Gaming, which was Phil Spencer, and president of Xbox was Sarah Bond. So I'm assuming both those roles are going to be these two people. They just have different titles now. But in the end, you know, Spencer says, you know, I've been thinking about it right here. Last fall, I shared with Satya that I was thinking about stepping back and starting a next chapter in my life. From that moment, we aligned on approaching this transition with intention, ensuring stability and strengthening the foundation we built. Xbox has always been more than a business. It's a vibrant community of players, creators, and teams who care deeply about what we build and how we build it. And it deserves a thoughtful, deliberate plan for the road ahead. And here's the thing that's kind of strange, though, right here. As part of this transition, Sarah Bond has decided to leave Microsoft to begin a new chapter. Sarah has been instrumental during a defining period for Xbox, shaping our platform strategy, expanding Game Pass and cloud gaming, supporting new hardware launches, guiding some of the most significant moments in our history. I'm grateful for her partnership and the impact she's had, and I wish her the very best in what comes next. Obviously, if you're reading that and you're seeing that everybody has made statements, right, except her, Sarah Bond, this feels like a forced retirement from Phil and a forced resignation from Sarah Bond. So it could be two things. Again, a lot of people thought that Sarah Bond would take over the role of CEO, that obviously she was president, she was right below him, and the natural next step would be Phil retires and then she would assume the CEO position. It feels like Satya, whatever his name is, had other ideas and basically told her, we are planning to have Asha be the next CEO, and we understand if you want to leave now because of this. And obviously, I think she resigned because she felt she was overlooked or, was lied to. I'm pretty sure everybody was assuming this was going to happen, that she would take over, and they're not promoting her to that position. So she had no choice but to resign essentially in the end. Or this looks like both of them. We want both of you gone. We're going to make some changes. We don't feel like the, acquisition of Activision was successful. And, we feel like some decisions with with Game Pass and the hardware decisions that you guys are making are not in line with what I want to do in the future. So we're going to bring people that are more in line with what I want to do. And we are making a change now, and both of you are gone. That, I think, is what the reality of the situation is. I think they're both gone, or they're both about to be gone. And it was a forced resignation and a forced retirement in the end for Bond and Spencer. That's what it feels like. That's what it sounds like. For Sarah to not have any correspondence in regards to all this, like Phil tells me that it definitely is not something she wanted to do. and she's just going to take her time. She'll probably make a statement later on tonight or something saying, hey, I've enjoyed my years at Xbox, yada, yada, yada. This is a new chapter I'm going to begin, blah, blah, blah. But we all know, or at least I feel like that's what we all know, that this was not her idea of how this situation was going to play out. Asha, while she has experience in very top roles, right, in Meta and other stuff, she doesn't have gaming as one of those things on her resume. Or here, she was COO of Instacart, vice president of Meta, and the only thing that's come close is being Microsoft, AI chief. That's the closest thing. So we'll see how she does in this role. I'm not saying that it's it's going to be bad or anything like that for Xbox having her at the helm. I just feel like that the timing of it is strange. I think, especially since she just got hired at Xbox in 2024, I think is when I read, and she's already now the CEO of the gaming division that quickly, and you picked her over somebody that had at least 8 years of experience of Microsoft, and more than 5 years at that current role as president. So, obviously, these kind of decisions are going to be scrutinized, in my opinion, and this is certainly a case of why you got to be careful with what you see in front of your eyes, basically. So I feel like it was forced, and it definitely shows with how we're picking people here that this seems like a forced resignation from her for sure. Sharma said, today I begin my role as CEO of Microsoft Gaming. I feel two things at once: humility and urgency. Humility because this team has built some extraordinary over the decades. Urgency because gaming is a period of rapid change. We need to move with clarity and conviction. I am stepping into work shaped by a generation of artists, engineers, designers, writers, musicians, operators, and more who create worlds that have brought joy and deep personal meaning to hundreds of millions of players. The level of craft here is exceptional, and it is amplified by Xbox, which is founded in the belief that the power of games connects people and pushes the industry forward. Thank you, Phil, for his leadership, and to every studio, platform, operation team that built this foundation. We are stewards of some of the most loved stories and character entertainment, and bring players and creators together around the fun and community of gaming in entirely new ways. My first job is simple: understand what makes this work and protect it. This starts with 3 commitments. First, great games. I promoted Matt Booty. In honor of this commitment, he understands the craft and challenges of building great games, has led teams to deliver award-winning work, and has earned the trust of game developers across the industry. Second, return of Xbox. We recommit to the core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to the developers who build the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with console, which has shaped who we are. So just reading this alone feels like the downfall of Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond was pushing Game Pass so much, because a lot of people felt that Game Pass, and they've said it before as well, that Game Pass is the future, and eventually consoles will be phased out in favor of Game Pass. And this, by highlighting that our renewed commitment is going to be to the console, means that there was some butting heads up at the top with Phil saying, hey, no, you know what, we don't want to do, we should get away from this, let's just focus on Game Pass. So I wonder how the future of Game Pass is now, with the hands of a team now, or a new leadership, not really focus on it and not really 100% behind it. So this is a very interesting territory we're stepping into now. Gaming now lives across devices, not within the limits of a single piece of hardware. As we expand across PC, mobile, and cloud, Xbox should feel seamless, instant, and worthy of the communities we serve. We will break down barriers so developers can build once and reach players everywhere without compromise. So at least that's showing that she basically is saying that, we're going to still stick with Game Pass. I just think it's interesting that she basically highlighted by saying we are definitely going to start with the console and bring it back to the forefront. Now we know they're making a new console, and they have, I think AMD is involved with process. So we know that they were going to build something new eventually. I wonder if they're really focused on trying to get this new Xbox as powerful as what PS6 is supposed to be, etc. But we'll see. We are witnessing the third is future of play. We are witnessing the reinvention of play. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have: iconic teams, characters, and worlds that people love. But we will not treat those worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. We will build a shared platform and tools that empower developers and players to create and share their own stories. As monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop, coming from the person that was running the AI division. So this is interesting language here. Games are and always will be art crafted by humans, created with the most innovative technology provided by us. Now so this is kind of interesting too, that they're highlighting this. She's highlighting this because I wonder if Phil is saying maybe we do want to lean into AI more and not have it as the human side of things. I don't know. But yet the person that was working AI, Microsoft, they say they don't want to use AI, or at least not the way I guess they were wanting it to be done. I don't know. This is kind of interesting. This is kind of interesting. The next 25 years belong to teams who dare to build something surprising, something no one else is willing to try, and have the patience to see it through. We have done this before, and I am here to help us do it again. I want to return to the renegade spirit that built Xbox in the first place. It will require us to relentlessly question everything, revisit processes, protect what works, and be brave enough to change what does not. Thank you for welcoming me into this journey. So there's a lot of handle there, and a lot of to take in. The bottom line is Phil is out, Asha is in as CEO, Matt Booty is taking over the content side of things in Xbox, essentially replacing Sarah Bond. Sarah Bond has resigned, and she is not said anything as of yet, and we don't know what her next venture is at this time. So lots to digest. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you feel here's Asha and Matt Booty? Are y'all excited for the next chapter of Xbox? We shall see how this works. It's going to be very interesting to say the least. And let me know what you guys think below. I'm out.